Hey, and welcome back to the channel. On this episode, I get a new film camera and a new film stock, and I decide to test them both out. And I even bring some friends along. Now I know, I could make a joke saying, oh my god, Mark's got friends? But making that kind of joke is pretty damn easy. Just like your mom. So, if you know me, then you know I'm pretty prone to being financially irresponsible. I shouldn't be allowed to be in control of any amount of money, even like a nickel. Can't give me that shit. I'll spend it in a dumb way. And I guess it's par for the course that I decided to splurge some money on a new camera system, as well as new film. I always wanted to get into the 6x7 format, and a couple months ago I was actually looking at a Mamiya RB67 Pro S that was on eBay. It came with like two 120 backs, a bunch of lenses, and it was only around $600. And I was the top bidder until some motherfucker bid sniped me at the last second and bid $1 more than me. Yeah, I hate eBay. And even though that left a sour taste in my mouth, I always kept an eye out on r/photo market for some more affordable cameras. And lo and behold, this Pentax 6x7 popped up. And on top of that, a couple months before I purchased this camera, a miracle happened for the film community. I'm talking about that day where all these film companies decided to announce that they were releasing new film. Like when Kodak was announced that gold was coming to 120, Japan Camera Hunter announced a new color positive film at 400 ISO, and Cinestill announced their new daylight balanced film, Cinestill 400D. And with me being the type of person that acts like I have money burning a hole in my pocket, I went over to Cinestill's website and backed two tiers in their 400D campaign. One tier was for one early bird roll of the 400D in 35mm, and the second tier was for an entire 5-roll pro pack of 120 film. When I finally had both the new film and new camera in my possession, I had a big brain moment. Why don't I just test both of these out and make a video out of it? I actually tested out the 6x7 with a roll of HP5 Plus, because I'm a slut for that black and white film. So I asked my friends Alex and Claire if they wanted to help me test out a new camera, and they said yes. And we decided to go on a hike. And this was the first photo I took. It's a banger, I know. So what actually happened here was I forgot that the Pentax 6x7 needs a battery to function. And I did have a battery, except it was put in backwards to conserve it. So when I pressed the shutter, the mirror flopped up, but didn't flop back down. And I had to press the shutter reset button, which I'm assuming resulted in this. I don't know why it's all dark and blacked out, although this did happen with one image from my test roll of black and white. Although that one looked way cooler. This image is overexposed and blown out. I don't know what I was metering for here. I can't remember. I think I was just taking a general reading of the area, but even then this is pretty blown out. But it's an image. It's better than the last one. When comparing this image to the last two, let's call those last two warm-up shots. And this one, pretty good. But don't think this is exponential growth or improvement or anything, because there's still some shit shots coming up. But hey, I finally metered somewhat correctly this time, and that's pretty dope. Also, we're getting some of that classic Cinestill halation in the image, specifically on that bench. If you're on this channel and you don't know what halation is, let me break it down for you. Cinestill film is actually Kodak motion picture film that they messed around with a bit. And by messed around with, what I mean is they go through a chemical process where they remove a layer from the film, called the remjet layer. Removing the remjet layer from this film allows it to be processed in C41 chemicals, which is like the standard chemical you use to process color negative film. A side effect of removing the remjet layer are these things called halations. The red blobs, or halos, that kind of encompass the highlights and bright things in photos. Cinestill's 800D film is quite known for this, and since a lot of people use it at night for night photography, it's kind of their aesthetic. Some people really like the halation effect it has on highlights, and other people don't really like it. I don't really care for it. If it adds to an image, it adds to an image, and if I don't like it, then I just don't show it. It was burger. Will you catch my drift? Another example of halation can be seen in this next photo, where if you look, it kind of looks like the ground is glowing red, and same with some leaves. But no, the Earth is not irradiated in New Jersey. At least not yet. I really like the composition of this photo, but if anything, I wish that tree in the background was more in the middle of the two trees in the foreground, but hey, what you gonna do? And also, the shadows contrasting with the highlights of the sunlight. This photo's really doing it for me. I really need to work on nailing my exposure more because between these two photos, yeah, something went wrong. Oh yeah, and you can see here on this photo that I got some uneven development when processing. I'm not ashamed of it. It's part of the gamble when you try processing at home, and when you're an idiot like me. Those last two photos of the lake were actually the last photos on the roll. So, I loaded up the camera with another roll, and we decided to hike back down. But this time, I did not take any photos because I was tired and my neck was sore. And I honestly think that my neck is still sore from that hike because wearing that camera on a neck strap while going up and down a hill, yeah, not about it. Not the best idea I've ever had. But once we got back to my place, I decided to take a couple photos of Alex. And honestly, these photos might be my favorite of the bunch. Like, this first photo of Alex is stellar. The skin tones look great, the sunlight in his hair is awesome, and that little bit of halation on his shoulder is a really nice touch, and it isn't detracting in any way. And the depth of field, although that's pretty much on the Pentax 6x7 and the lens I have. Usually, I'd probably bash myself for not nailing the focus on this photo, but honestly, I kind of dig it. It kind of gives it a weird, airy, kind of dreamlike vibe, and I'm here for it. I also took some photos of Alex on a Sony a7 III, and I know, digital? Blasphemy. But here's some of those photos. And after that impromptu photo shoot, me and my friends decided to go just hang out, get dinner, watch some TV, then call it a night. So that was it for photos from that day. But I still had 7 shots left on that roll of 400D in my Pentax 6x7, so a couple days later, I decided to go on a little walk through a nature arboretum, or arboretum? I don't know how to pronounce this word.
Arboretum. Arboretum.
I thought it was going to be more like a long nature trail that I would have like an hour or so walk through. What it ended up being was a small enclosed field with one trail through it that was about 10 minutes to walk through with a pond in the back. Still took some photos though. And we're back to the crappy first photo of the shoot. I don't know what I was metering for. I'm gonna be honest, I don't. Maybe the highlights, maybe the sunlight, I don't know. But don't you worry, because this next one is a banger. I don't know, this one really wets my whistle, if you know what I mean. Who came up with that saying? But yeah, as the kids these days say, this photo just slaps. Honestly, when I was framing up this shot, I don't know why I thought, hey, let's get this branch in the middle of the photo kind of obstructing the subject. But that was a good thought. That was a really good thought. I also nailed the exposure on this one, in my opinion. I metered for the gazebo over there. And obviously that was the right choice. So hey, past Mark, great job. Proud of you. And hey, we're back to kinda crappy photos, which is what I was gonna name my Instagram account, but that was already taken. But what is there to say about this photo? The highlights are too bright. They're overexposed. And I metered for the shadow on the bench, because I think what I wanted to do was meter for the shadows on the bench, so then the highlights and the sunlight could be more of like an overpowering angelic white light. But what we got instead was not that, and just really bright highlights, and also some halation on the flowers. And these next two photos are what I assume the kids from Chronicles of Narnia saw when they were leaving Narnia when they were old as fuck. And hey, also, look, a dead body in a garbage bag. Well, what to say about Cinestill 400D and the Pentax 6x7? I think I'll start with the film first. This is definitely a film stock I want to explore more and shoot more of, and compare it to film stocks that I shoot more regularly, like Kodak Gold, Portra, and Ektar. I need to try some Fujifilm. But, you know, I like the way it rendered skin tones, and hey, it does browns and greens pretty nice. And the halations aren't that noticeable compared to something like Cinestill 800D, so that's good. And it's always good to have more color negative film. You know what they say? Variety is the spice of life. And alright, what to say about the Pentax 6x7? I really like the camera. Aside from the weight, it's heavy as hell. I don't think I'm going to be using a camera neck strap with it in the future, because hiking with this thing killed my neck. My neck is still sore, honestly. I really like the negative size, and I think that it gives a lot of detail because of the size, so I think that's really cool, compared to like 6x6 or 645. I think I like 6x6 more. I don't know, there's something about like square aspect ratio that I really like. I do need to look out for the shutter lock, because sometimes I'll be composing a shot and I'll be ready to take the photo, and I'll go to press the shutter button and it's locked, and I have to just unlock it. Sure, it's like 1 second, but I mean, it's kind of annoying still. I think from now on I'll keep the battery the right way in the battery socket, just because I have like a 10 pack of batteries and I don't need to really conserve them yet. So yeah, really excited to mess around with it more and just get to know it more, because it's a fun camera. And like I said before, it's just like its little cousin, the Pentax K1000, so shooting it is relatively easy compared to like learning how to shoot a TLR, or if I had a 6x7 camera that was more like a Mamiya RB67. Like, this camera body already feels somewhat familiar. Definitely want to invest in getting the 105 2.4 lens though. And I guess that's it for this video. Thanks for watching the video. If you liked some of the photos in it, leave a comment down below saying which one was your favorite. Honestly, for me, it's probably this picture of the gazebo or one of the pictures I took of Alex. And if you liked the video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. I'm gonna have some more videos coming out about photography as I shoot more. And if you like video games, I also stream over on Twitch at twitch.tv/XanderIsFake. So sub if y'all are a fan of that. And yeah, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, that's all I got for you today. So I'll leave you with this. I love y'all, I appreciate y'all, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. So until then, I'll leave you with this. Goodbye. Peace. I was like about to fight someone.
You were.
Have you ever killed a man?
Are you sure you want to know the answer to that question?
They're gonna be on tape.